Hello and welcome to KMB Gaming and this brand new Sims 4 series, Vampires. It was meant to be live on Thursday, so I apologise for the lateness, but if you weren't aware, the PlayStation network has been down for a few days, so therefore I'm not being able to do any streaming, but I am here a couple of days later with it for you. Really excited about this one. I think it is going to be good. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's have a look at some of the things that the Vampires DLC pack can bring to us. So let's have a look. So we'll go to create a sim and we can have a look pretty much straight away. So I figured out what. Hey Valerie, thank you very much for joining. Right, okay, so we need to create a sim, a brand new sim, and delete the current one, because we can create the sim and create a cult skin and add vampire. Now we delete this sim. Right, that's fine. So that one is doing very good, Valerie. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling very well, and I hope that you are on the mend. I hope you're still not in hospital. Right, so we want to create a male. So I have an idea of the kind of vampire that I want to create. If any of you are familiar with the film The Lost Boys, then you will know exactly who I mean. When I say David, that's who I want to create. I want to create David, but I want to create the human form of David. I'm sorry to hear that, Valerie. That's not very nice. I really hope you managed to get sorted. So we're going to have a look at the way this sim looks. Hello CTR, thank you for joining. We're going to have a look at the way this sim looks. Obviously you can see there is a slight difference in his appearance, but let's have a closer look and we will... So this is his human form. So obviously with a human form we need to make him look a little bit more human, a little less vampiric. So let's have a look at his face. So this is like an introduction. So I'm going to be creating the sim in this episode, and then in the next introduction episode, or we will start building the mansion. But just for this episode, we will be creating the sim. We're going to spend quite a lot of time creating the sim. So this is what this episode is going to be about. Okay, so we want to kind of we've got lots of choices when it comes to his face, but for his human form we want to make him look as much like a human as possible. So the character of David in The Lost Boys is quite a thin character. He's got quite a long drawn face. If you know Kiefer Sutherland, who is the actor that plays David, then you'll know who I mean. But if you don't know who that is, then I apologise. The best thing, the only thing I can suggest is that you have a look on the internet for a picture, and you will have an understanding of what I mean. So let's choose a face. So I think this one, we can just make his face a little bit thinner. I think that will do. But there's lots of different things you can choose. So there's the typical vampire archetype which you can go with, which gives you all the different kind of faces that you could choose for the vampire look. And to me they kind of look like, some of them look like dark elves from Skyrim, which is kind of cool. Skin details, which the normal ones that you get. Then you get vampire brows, which you can see that he's got. It makes it... No, I'm not calling him Blade. I'm not making Blade. I'm making David. Blade is crap. I don't like Blade. Lost Boys is better. So you kind of got the kind of Buffy look going there, the vampires from Buffy, or you've got the kind of subtle one. Now the vampires in The Lost Boys do very similar to Buffy in that their forehead screws up and their faces screw up a bit when they become vampires. So so you get the sockets as well, so you can make their eyes sunken, make them look really kind of make his eyes really sunken and make him actually look like a skeleton. Don't get me wrong, the first Blade film is alright, but then they just start to get silly afterwards. The character of Blade's actually quite cool, but he's like half vampire, half human, so... Anyway, getting off track. Around the eyes you can have cracked skin, which make it quite spooky. You can have him kind of look really goth with like crying eyeliner, or you can make him have a big scar across his eyes and like scarring there, which is kind of cool. Cheeks, you can give him a cracked look in his cheeks, so things like this. Sorry about that. We get yes, they can change between a human form and a vampiric form, and so you can choose the form. So when they want to feed, they have to be a vampire. So if you go to a club or something and you want them to feed, then they have to feed into and they have to be into the vampire form to feed. So yeah, the cracks are veins, yeah, but you can see that some of them it's just kind of cracked skin, which kind of, I think, those ones look like veins. These are cracks, or look like cracks anyway. They're definitely veins, those ones. Yes, that's like a crack, I suppose, and I think that's kind of cool because that could be like a scar of them being in the sun for too long. So then you've just got like a sagging skin there, and that's kind of that one. So we'll take those effects off for now, and then we've got the vampire mouth. You can have like a stretched mouth there, or some more veins around the mouth, and a little bit of cracking mouth there, and then more veins there. And obviously they've got their fangs as well, which come here, so you can see all the different kind of fangs that you can get. So the kind of spiked fangs, you've got top fangs, or you've got top and bottom, which is kind of common with vampire lore, or you've kind of got the Nosferatu style fangs, where you've just got the front two teeth, which are fangs, and then you've got the normal Sims teeth there. I quite like those ones, but then I quite like those ones as well. So we can decide what we want later on, but we are going to carry on with the human form, and we're just going to go with a normal skin tone. We're going to get rid of any of the things that this poor young man has been subjected to, and we're going to make him look as relatively normal as we possibly can. Obviously get rid of the mutton chops. So David he's actually got a mullet in the film, because the film is set in the 80s. He's actually got a mullet, but you can't do mullets in this one. So what you can do is do like a long hair that's swept back, which kind of looks very similar to what the character of David has got. So we're going to give him blonde hair because he's blonde. Actually, he's got white hair, so I'm going to give him... Oh, what's that one? Oh, I don't know which one to go for. That one, actually. I'm going to go for that one. Okay, so he's got facial hair. The character's got facial hair, but it's kind of like stubbly facial hair, so it's a bit like that, but then it's a bit too long. I quite like the stubble. I don't know why. Oh, it's because I've only chosen beards. That's why I've got to choose all of them. I don't know why that is, CTR. Like I said to you, you just need to try and keep trying and see what happens. He hasn't got a soul patch. He's got kind of stubble, but I kind of would want it to be a bit longer. But I'm gonna go with that for now. So we'll go for a long face. So let's go in and actually amend his face physically, and we should be able to make it as skinny as we can and as long as we can. Well, we don't want to make it too long, but he needs to be skinnier. He needs to be a lot skinnier. Yep, that's very, very good there. Raise his cheekbones up, but his cheekbones need to be kind of sunken in a bit more, I think. It's actually not too bad, actually, for what the picture that I'm going off of that I've got of him. So obviously the character of David is like a biker. He's like a punk biker, and he's like the head vampire of the group. And he lures people in and gets them, turns them into vampires. But the way that the Lost Boys works is that they are they're kind of misunderstood people. The Lost Boys, the vampires themselves, so they're very misunderstood, and they're very much misunderstood from society. Society's kind of throwing them out, so they just kind of work on their own, and obviously everyone's scared of them because a lot of people know that they're vampires and knows that the vampires about. So he kind of needs to be a bit of a loner, really. I kind of like that look that he's got going on there. It kind of looks quite good, but I'm going to give him vampiric ears because I think we need him to have a kind of hint that he's different. There's something about him that makes him different, and I think the ears do it. So you got a vast selection of ears. So you can have right pointy ears, so he looks like an elf, or they can stick out a bit. So I suppose you could make an elf character now with these ones, but I like the fact that his ears can be a little bit different, and that is what's going to make him different from. I think his eyes need to be different as well. I think the colour of his eyes. I don't think he should have such striking eyes that people would recognise straight away that he was a vampire or he was different. But I do think that he needs to have piercing eyes. So maybe like purple pupils as a human, and then we'll change the colour when he becomes a vampire. Right, so I think having purple eyes makes him different, makes his ears, having different ears makes it different. I think that kind of works. I don't really like his chin. I've just realised he's got an underbite. Valify, the PSN network has been down in the UK. They've been having some serious issues, and some people are back up, some people aren't. Unfortunately, CTR is one of the ones that is being affected. Mine has apparently come back up, but his seems to have not, which is rather frustrating. So hopefully they'll get them sorted pretty sharpish. Right, so the character of Dave's actually got his ears pierced as well. So we're going to have a look at the accessories. Now he actually wears a cross, 2 crosses hanging down from his ears, which is ironic, I know, because he is obviously that's ironic because he is a vampire, but it still works. So I kind of like the way he kind of looks. He looks different. I would like him to be look a little bit rougher, maybe a little bit older. So I'm just gonna have a look at the skin details, see if there's anything we can do to make him look a little bit older. Do I like that? Yeah, let's have that. Makes him look a little bit older than he actually is. I like that. Right, so let's get on to clothing now. So obviously he is like a punk, so we need to have like a leather jacket look. So let's have a goosey gander. You did a backflip on the hospital bed. Is that a good idea? So I know which one I want to choose because I like the look of it when I saw it. It's this one, but with a... This one? No, it's not this one. It's this one, but with a red shirt. I like the way that looks because it's kind of punky. And so David looks a lot like Spike from Buffy, so but a little bit more punky, a little bit more rougher. So imagine Spike from Buffy, but a little bit older, a little bit rougher, and then you've got David. So I suppose that's David is where they kind of got the inspiration for Spike. Right, so we need to... Yeah, so he's kind of... That's good, I quite like that. I'm happy with that. So let's get trousers. We'll go for... Again, we need to go for like jeans. Black jeans. You know. Yes, you've had more than I have, CTR, much more than I have. So let's go for show all, and we'll, don't like the torn jeans, I don't like them at all. So we shall go for black jeans there, with, I want to put, like, biker boots on. But I haven't got any, so I'll put black cowboy boots on. And then we need some accessories on him, some rings, because David's got some bangles on his wrists, which you can't see, but you know they're there. At least if you put them on, you'll know they're there. And then I think he needs like a black eye ring, and that will add to it a little bit. So I think as a vampire he needs to be skinny, but he also needs to be quite well built because he's quite strong. Vampires are very, very strong, so that is something that we need to be aware of. So that is his general look. I'm happy with that. I think that is good. That is his human form general look. So we need to think about his other clothes. So his work clothes, obviously. He's not going to work. He's a vampire. He won't need to work. But I still need to do the clothes just in case. Actually, the only clothes I think I'll need him to do is the bed clothes, because at the end of the day, a vampire still needs to sleep. Right, so we need to... Yes, we need some trousers for him, so I think just getting Valifade, I really wouldn't go there if I were you. just some friendly advice. Really don't go there. Right, so let's get some... I don't really want him to have any slippers on, but yeah, he's not going to have any slippers on because I don't think a vampire would wear slippers. I don't think a vampire would wear pyjamas, if I'm honest, but you can't. You need, for the nighttime stuff, you need him to be wearing pyjamas. So let's think about his party. Now, I really like this outfit that I'm about to do for him, but I'm thinking, because he is like a punk vampire, I kind of think doing like a classic Victorian vampire might not really be what we need for him. Oh, I like that. That's cool. But he's got to be like a, because Lost Boys is set in the 80s. Then I want to kind of make him look kind of 80s and that, but I also want him to kind of have like the Victorian style, but we're going to give him some red cowboy boots to have with it, because I really like the black and red. I think black and red goes really well together. So let's think about maybe see what hats they've got, see if he can have a like a party hat. So you could have like a top hat. Let's go with that. I don't think that suits. I'm not sure if I like that. So what about brimless? Show all. No, I don't like that. I don't think he needs to have that. I think having him the way he is fine by me. I don't think I need him. Might get to wear some sunglasses actually, but you don't really get. Nah, don't like the sunglasses. Take the sunglasses off. Right, there we have it. There is David, our human form. Now, let's get into our vampiric form. So obviously, the Sims vampiric form is exactly the same as the Sim we had before. So we've got human form and we've got vampiric form. Just goes to show how different these forms can be. So let's get the hair. So we need to get the hair right, don't we? So it was. Wasn't that one? God no, wasn't that one. It was this one, wasn't it? Yep. So he needs to have the same. Unless I want him to be different. I want to be very similar. I might actually just make him like a really gruesome looking vampire when he actually turns into the vampire. So have the human form looking like David from the Lost Boys, but have his vampire form really gruesome. I think that'd be really cool. So I think I might go for something you wouldn't really, maybe bald, like a bald sort of a Nosferatu style, and really make him really gruesome. So let's go to face and go for vampiric archetypes. See, that's cool, but with all due respect, I don't want him to be black because obviously he's a white character. But that's kind of cool. You kind of get the setup there. But I want to go like that. But we will. But Right, so let's get a really vicious looking vampire on it, on the go. Really sunken in eyeballs. Cracked veins. His cheeks, I think, need to have veins there. I think lots of veins on the other side as well. Like, he needs to be ugly, I think. He needs to be really, really ugly. Because, yeah, I just think if we can make him look as ugly as possible. So why is that? Ah, you can't have both. Right, so let's have that one, and we'll have that one. I think he needs to be really, really ugly, so... Yep, and give him teeth. Yep, I like those teeth. Right, so... We'll get rid of the facial hair. The only facial hair I think he should have is... He should still have the stubble. Actually, no, I don't even think he should have the stubble. I think the stubble should go. He should become very... I think he should look like not a completely different person. I think he should still have the same sort of mannerisms and, like, well, not the mannerisms, but the same sort of facial look. But I do think he needs to have a slightly longer. But he needs to be, like, I think completely different. I think just because you're turning into a vampire, you're turning into something horrendous. I think you need to look disgusting and horrible, and when you become a vampire, you become completely evil. I quite like the fact that you could. Good. I was going to say. His eyes are definitely changing colour. While I like the blue, I like the red. Or the black. Ooh, what do we go for? Black or red? What do you reckon? Black or red? Hello, Brad. Thank you for joining. This is going to be fun. CTR, meet Brad. Brad is another very good friend of mine. You reckon black over red? So that's the black, that's the red. What do we reckon? So we've got black. Okay, so we've got the black. So here's all this. I'll show you all the choices anyway. Black pupil, full black eyes, blue eyes, kind of cat's eyes, ice blue eyes, pink eyes, orange eyes, dead eyes, orange eyes, red eyes, and then back to the normal eyes. So we'll go black eyes, full sort of demonic look there. And what kind of eyes should we have? I think, yeah, something like that. I think that's kind of cool. Brad actually looks a little bit like you. Makeup, so we'll go eyeliner, some thick eyeliner on there, make it look like quite gothic. Can't do anything with the cheeks, can't do anything with the lips, and then you got all the face paint. We don't do the face paint on. So black eyeliner around the eyes, make the eyes really stand out. You should, dude. It is really good. I'm really enjoying playing it. Really enjoying it. I've got a couple of other streams on as well, which you might want to check out, which kind of shows like the normal game one where it's called Rags to Riches, where you start from nothing and work your way up to building a mansion. So literally you can't get a job, you can't do anything like that. And I've also built an asylum, and I've also got an asylum series where I'm working through the asylum with some crazy inmates as well. Right, so I quite like that look. What do we reckon? So if we go to human form, we'll see the big difference. So that's his human form. So that's his human form there. So he's got the ears. I need to amend the ears to the vampire one. And then we've got his vampiric form, which is quite different from, certainly from his human form. So I think that's his ears there, right? Right, so we need to put his ear piercings in, because he needs to have his ears pierced. We've done makeup, right? So let's sort his clothes out. We've got to think vampire, so we've got to think what would a vampire wear? And I actually think for his normal oh yes, eyebrows, yes. Good thinking, Batman. Cheers, B-Rad. Right, so let's get the eyebrows. What kind of eyebrows should we have? We can't really... So maybe he shouldn't even have eyebrows. Is that even an option? No, he has to have eyebrows. So what kind of eyebrows should we have? Like evil looking out? Oh, we can have no eyebrows. So what do you reckon? Eyebrows or no eyebrows? Obviously if he's bald, he wouldn't have any hair. So what do you reckon? Eyebrows or no eyebrows? So say black eyebrows. So let's try black eye. Let's try big bushy black eyebrows, and then we'll. Right. So Chris, you say none. Brad, you say. I think he looks better without, so I'm going to go without. Simply because I think he looks better without. I think he should look a little bit like Nosferatu, and that's what the kind of look is that I'm going for. So. Right, so let's see what bottoms we've got. So I think if we went for these ones, but went for like a no. What about black ones? Or red ones? Red ones are kind of cool, but these ones are kind of cool as well, in the red. So we'll have him similar to his party outfit, in that when he's out partying, he is kind of going to his vampiric form, but not 100%. So let's get his boots. Let's decide what boots he wants to wear. So I think black cowboy. Should we go black cowboy boots or should we go biker boots? I think black biker boots. So I think because what I would love would be like a. Let's try the full body. See if there's anything vampiric in the the full body. What's this one? Ooh, I like that. That's kind of cool. That's a possibility. What's this one? So you've kind of got a Victorian look. Well, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a, or he could be like a monk. Or Darth Maul, that's awesome. Right, so these seems to be the new ones for the vampire pack. That's kind of cool. Or you can kind of go classic, sort of. See, I don't think you can get a cloak, and that's really, really annoying, because I think it would be cool if you could get a cloak. You might be able to unlock it later. I like that. I think I'll go for that one. I don't think you can get a cloak, and it's... aprons. Nope. Swimsuits. Lingerie. Costumes. The only cloak that I think you can get is with Darth Vader. But... yeah, I don't think you can get cloaks. Which kinda sucks. Yeah, the Darth Vader one looks kind of silly. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's Darth Vader, it's Star Wars, it's not silly, but... but you can't get any cloaks, which is a little bit annoying. But I think that's kind of a cool... red eyes with black outfit, that's a good idea. Let's give that a shot. Oh, that works. That works. Because you can just see the red piercing through. That looks really cool, actually. I like that. I do like that, I must say. I really do like that. So let's just try the makeup again. I don't know if we go the eyeliner, we can't change the colour. I think it works really well because I like just being able to see the eyes. Right. Shame you can't put lipstick on them or anything. Right, so what else could we add to them? I'm going to try something and I don't think it's going to work. I might totally regret doing it. And Brad, if you say pimp hat, I will kill you. See, it looks better with that costume, but I don't think... What do you think? With the hat or without the hat? With the hat or without? Chris, you say no top hat. Okay, no top hat. Hold on. See what this looks like. Oh, what about that? Oh, that's... that's funny. Like that. Oh. Willy Wonka. Like a Nacho Libre. Right. I think, to be honest, I think he's looking pretty sick, to be honest. Nah, go for the hood bit. Oh, let's just go load on. Hold on. I'm not going to say what that looks like. Nah, don't worry about it. Oh, for Darth Vader, that's cool. Not that, but oh god, that's even worse. Damn on, not on. Look at this one. This is silly. It's just odd. Right, let's stop mucking about. Right, I think he's done. That's going to be his vampiric form, so we'll go normal sim. Obviously that's his party outfit. So if we go, I think it's 45 or 40. Right, so there's his normal costume, where he looks like a normal human being. He's pretending to be a vampire, and then he gets the thirst, and then he suddenly becomes a vampire. Moves completely different, and then goes back to being human. Love it. Right, so his name's going to be David. His last name Frog. The reason his last name is Frog is because there is a character in it called Edgar Frog, and he is a vampire hunter, and obviously the character is David, but the character David doesn't have a last name, so he's just called just David. Right, so we're going to go for a sort of a brash, dark voice. He's going to be an adult. Vampires. Sorry about that, pulled the mic out. Vampires are immortal, so vampires cannot die. So, they have to obviously. So, you could walk like that, but I don't think he should. I think he should have like a proud walk. Yeah, so vampires can't die, as in they can't die of old age because they're immortal. So his aspiration. Excuse me, so his aspiration, the one thing that he wants, the thing he's going to work towards, is being the master vampire, because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the head vampire, he wants to be able to control people, he wants to be able to turn other sims into vampires, which you can do. So we've got to pick a trait now. So I think he's going to be a romantic. I think he's going to be a bit of a snob, and I think he should be quite evil. And the reason I think that is because he's like an evil vampire. I think that would be quite good. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, Brad, thank you very much for the subscribe. I really appreciate it. Right, so there we have it. There we have the... Oh, his name didn't save. So right, let's save his name again. David Frog is what I said, wasn't it? Right. So there we have our character, David Frog, human form, vampiric form, evil vampire, and that is him in his true form, and we will save it. Right, I'm going to call it a day there, guys, because we are not going to be able to build the house in this episode. We will build it in another episode. But I'll very quickly show you the brand new world that we can build in. It's called the Forgotten Hollow. So we have 3 areas that we can build in, and so there's areas which are called registered vampire layers. Don't know what that means. I'll have to look at that. But obviously you start off with 20,000, so you can decide what you want to do. These ones are occupied by vampires already, and we have to move into empty lots. So it's kind of like a gothic area. There seems to be like a graveyard over on the lake. In the next episode we will build our house and we will explore the area. We will have a look and see what we can do. But until then, guys, I will see you later. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, getting involved. If you like what you see and you want to see the next episode and you want to follow on and you want to see more of The Sims 4 Vampires, then please smash that subscribe button, like this video, give it as much support as you can, and we will get this series off the ground. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.